Hello, hello. It is your Astro Coach Sarah here for your Sun and Rising signs for Aries season 2025. Of course, we will cover the Aries solar eclipse new moon on March 29th, as well as the Libra full moon on April 12th. Um, and let's see. We also have Neptune moving into Aries for the first time in 160-ish years. We have Mercury and Venus both retrograde and will retrograde from Aries back into Pisces. And so there's going to be lots of continued activity with those. I know people who's going through some sort of something with everything right now. We've got some people flying high because this energy is just feeding them and serving them and all of the things. Other people are going through relationship um, upheavals, breakups, verge of breakups, things like that. People that are dealing with car issues. I have heard that there are people setting cars on fire. So that would be a Mercury retrograde in Aries situation. Um, what else is going on? We have a lot going on. We can't talk about this Aries season without talking about war. Unfortunately, Aries is the god of war. And Mars is a war planet, and Mars is in Cancer. It may be direct, but he's still in Cancer. And we just have a lot going on that relates to war. And so, of course, Neptune, the last time Neptune was in Aries in the 1860s, many of us know historically that was the Civil War in the United States. We have Pluto at 3 degrees of Aquarius, which was the last time that happened was the United States, the American Revolution, as well as the French Civil War. And eventually we'll have Uranus move into Gemini in July. But that was the onset of World War II in the 1930s. And so, unfortunately, we have a lot of war going on. We have a lot of war energy. We have had for the last year and a half or 2 years. You can kind of feel it in the energy. But here's what I'm going to say: just because there's wars going on geopolitically doesn't mean that you have to be a part of it. Doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean that it will directly affect your day-to-day life. Chances are we are already in some kind of war because remember that in the 1930s, in the 1860s, and certainly in the 1780s, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have media. We didn't have all these things. We also weren't quite as aware of our spirituality as we are here in the 2020s. And so I say that to say that there could already be things going on that are wars or warlike, right? But think of war as warrior and protection, protecting your energy, protecting yourself, protecting your family, protecting your home, whether that's your physical body or the home the structure that which you live in, your home as in your community, your home as in your country, all of those sorts of things, because Mars being in Cancer is mama bear protective of the home, and whatnot, and getting a little feisty about it, right? And so, lots going on. I talked about relationships. I talked about travel. Okay, so then we have the Aries solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse on the 29th. That's going to be at 9 degrees, which is the degree that which I believe Venus stationed retrograde. And then we will have Mercury and Neptune are going to swap places right after that eclipse peaks on the 29th, 30th of March. And so Neptune's going to move into Aries, Mercury's going to move back into Pisces. And so they're going to cross paths. That means that this eclipse could be being a dark moon, could be really confusing as fuck, like fuck with your head type thing, right? Like fuck with your head, like think about it, because Neptune is like foggy and makes things kind of dreamy and floaty and gray and all of these things. Mercury is our mind and mindset and thinking and communicating. And you've got this dark moon because the moon will be in a new moon phase So I don't expect there to be much clarity around anything the weekend of March 29th and 30th. So just be aware of that and whatnot. And then let's see. Then we will have Venus. Well, Venus is already back into Pisces by the new moon. And as we get closer to the full moon in Libra on April 12th, which the sun will be conjunct Chiron in Aries, square Mars. And I'm going to show you the charts here in a second. I just want to kind of talk through all this, but with the full moon in Libra, moon opposite the sun and Chiron in Aries, squaring Mars in Cancer. That could be like, you see that you've cleared a lot and like the moon will be at its brightest, right? So in Libra, which is peace and justice and balance and all of those things. And that really could be, Venus will also be getting ready to, will be stationing direct at conjunct Saturn and Pisces at that point too. So like that could be, you really notice where you have found your peace and you want to protect it, Mars and Cancer, right? You want to protect your peace. You want to protect your immediate surroundings, right? So that could be very illuminating in the, oh, I see that I'm at peace when now that I have let go of that boyfriend, that girlfriend, that drama situation, or like I'm no longer a part of that job anymore. And oh, I see where I have gained some peace and sovereignty from that. And that could be like that full moon on the 12th could really show you where you have cleared and cleansed a lot and you found your balance and you found your peace. Um, so there's that. And then I think it's right before we finish with Aries season. Mars will move into Leo and start to oppose Pluto in Aquarius. And so I'll have to look back at the dates for the previous two times that that happened, but I want to say that one of them was in November, like right before the United States presidential election, and then another one was when was it? January? 1st of January, Mars opposed Pluto in Aquarius. So you want to think back to like early November, early January, because now we're going to have the third one at the middle of April, that's going to kind of close that situation off, or kind of complete it, as they say. What else? So there's a lot going on, lots of activity, lots of change, lots of movement with these planets throughout this Aries season. And so Aries, remember, is the god of war. It's the warrior sign. It's also the I am. So it's almost like you've got to take a stand for yourself. You've got to stand for your sovereignty. You've got to stand for your peace, stand for your family, your people, your home, your values, all of those things. I'm currently in a book club, and the book we're reading is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, I think. And I bring that up to say that, like, we're talking about creativity and having the courage to be creative. And I'm not saying that you have to be like an artist, but I am suggesting that with the Pluto in Aquarius opposite Leo and Mars going to be in Leo, the sun in Aries, where the sun is exalted, um, Neptune, the creative planet, moving into Aries. It's like honoring your own ability to create, whether that is creating with an artistic medium, meaning like color pencils, painting, acrylics, blah, 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 charcoal, those sorts of things, an artistic medium, being a musician, those sorts of things, or it's creating the life that you want and taking a stand and having the life that you want, right? And honoring what you actually desire for the life that you want. I feel like there's a lot of hardcore reality checks coming as far as people who still stew in their victim shit. And I think people like, I remember going through this when I was doing my healing journey. One of the things that I did was, sorry, my eye itches. Um, one of the things that I did during my healing journey was attend a couple of adult children of alcoholics support groups. I did not do the 12 steps, but I did attend a few meetings. And one thing that stood out to me was one person who said, I was so victim, I didn't realize how victim I was. And man, did that hit me like so hard because I was like, oh shit. Like people had told me that I was a victim and I didn't know how victim I was actually being. And everything was somebody else or some other entity's fault for why I couldn't have the life I wanted. That all being said, I am working on some changes this year. So you guys might see me in a whole different space like sometime this year. But anyway, I'm just kind of feeling through it right now. I'm not like I'm not actively working on it because I still have a few things I need to finish up before I can make life changes. Um, Mainly my book. I need to finish writing my book. I also need to take care of a few personal medical issues and things like that. And so I need to do those things before I can relocate or even think about relocation. But I say all of that to say, like, you know, I, there is a point of like being conscious of the fact that like I know I want to relocate. I have a fairly good idea where I want to go currently. And sitting back and being okay with allowing it to open up for me. And I can tell you that in the last 24 hours, I've had a couple things open up for me that I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right. And so, but I still know that it'll be later this year before I can actually actively consider relocation because I'm not ready yet. And yes, I know that there's like, whether I'm ready or not, God's got a plan. I totally respect that and I totally honor that. But I also think that which is why I feel like I'm being like urged to get projects done and like the book, like the medical things I need to take care of and things like that. And so nothing serious, by the way, medically. Um, but just some things that I need to get taken care of. But so what I say all of that to say is like you may want things and desire things to change for you, and yet consider what has them not changing, right? Because again, I have it the reason that things are not wide open for like they're nudging open. It's like the doors is because I know what I need to do to get prepared. But what is that for you? What do you need to be prepared for? Because are you prepared for the next part or the next chapter of your adventure or your journey, right? Mine are that I need to finish writing the book. I need to take care of myself and I need to actually prepare my physical body. I've been going to the gym and lifting and stuff like that. I need to actually prepare my physical body because being where I've been for the last couple of years, I haven't like walked everywhere. I haven't like had to, carry like loads of groceries or whatever. I haven't had to like do the things that I normally do when I've lived in the city. So my body's kind of lost some conditioning and some strengths. And so there's part of me that has to like do the things to prepare. And this is what I'm saying. So, like, you may be ready for a change in your life, but are you prepared for the change in your life? And this could be anything from finances, job, housing, but are you prepared for the change in your life that will come when you do the thing? Get a new job. Are you used to working full time? Are you only used to working part time? Are you not used to working at all? Are you used to working from home and now you're getting a job where you work in an office or vice versa? You've got a job in an office and you're coming back home. Consider all of these parts and that you're being prepared for something. And this is such an enormous change in energy from Pisces to Aries. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared to stand for yourself? All right, let's take a look at the charts and then we'll get into your sun signs and go from there. I feel like I've been really wordy. I've like tried to record this like 3 times. I feel like I've been really wordy, but I also think that sometimes there's a need to be wordy. But let's take a look at the charts and go from there. All right. Obviously, I can't show you guys this, but I'm looking out the little gap in my curtains, and the sky is when it's that like creamsicle orange, as the sun's setting, and the sky is like slightly hazy, and it's that creamsicle orange that can never be captured on camera. Anyway, all right, so the Aries new moon solar eclipse, I realized my chart is slightly off here because the moon's at 8:59 and the sun's at 9 and 0 minutes, but sorry. Um, all right, so this eclipse peaks on March 29th, which is a Saturday at 5:57 a.m. Central Time. Um, it's at 9 degrees of Aries. You can see that we have the continued stellium in Pisces with Saturn at 24, the North Node at 27, Venus at 28, and Neptune at 29. Notably, Neptune is at 29 and 57 geometric minutes. Mercury is retrograde at 0 degrees 28 minutes. So just hours after um, this new moon solar eclipse peaks will be the crisscross of paths between Neptune and Mercury. That's why I'm saying this is not a very clear time, because it's a dark moon, which isn't always the best time. It could also be fiery and feisty, and because it's Aries, and Aries moons are pretty obnoxious as far as being like emotional or irritable or mouthy or just irrational, or even like irrational. What was the other, what's the word for like uh, taking action without thinking? There's a word for that that's not coming to me in this moment, and that's okay. Um, Anyway, so, it could be a spicy weekend. It could be a very irrational weekend. It could also be like a what the actual fuck weekend. Um, and it could also be a mind fuck, as in, I don't know how many people who watch my videos read as much as I read, but I'm a fairly good book nerd. Um, and I really like a good book that's a mind fuck that ends with me going, "What the hell did I actually just read?" Or even a movie that ends that way. And because of this whole Mercury conjunct Neptune, that's what I mean about like a mind fuck. Like, what? Is that even real? And it may not be real. And I feel like this is going to be the problem with Neptune moving into Aries, is what's actually real. Because there's getting, I mean, anytime you have Neptune anywhere, Neptune's kind of a mind fuck. Yes, it's creative, and yes, it's dreamy, and it's all those flowy, glowy things, but it's also a mind fuck. It fucks with your head. Neptune rules spirits, as in alcohol, but also spirits, as in spirituality, and the veil between we'll say 3D and 5D, but like the veil between the physical world and the spiritual world. And so it can be a mind fuck, because what's really going on? People could have visions. People could have their clairs could be ultra amplified and freak them out. Whether you are, whether you have clear vision or clear hearing or something like that. Like there could be some ear ringing. And things like that. I know I've been experiencing more of that. It could be like synchronicities, like numbers, and things like that. But it also could be just like visions that could almost feel like you are on psychedelics or something like that. And things like that. But there could also be a lot of head issues. Aries rules the head and the jaw. So there could be like headaches, things like that. You're probably going to want to stay extra hydrated. You're probably going to refrain from intoxicants, simply because of headaches. It being a new moon, it's an eclipse. It's gonna be intense. It's going to be intense. And then you have that Mercury, Neptune crisscrossing paths at the 29-degree Pisces slash zero Aries point. And so, there's just that's a lot of concentrated energy at the beginning and the end of the zodiac. And so you could have some massive epiphany of this legit could be like something abruptly ends and something abrupt just as abruptly begins. And so, geopolitically, this could be like an end of a reign, Reighn, the end of a reign and the beginning of a new one, right? Sort of thing. But even in your own life, this could be like your job ends, but a new one begins. Your who knows, a relationship ends and then you meet a new person the next day kind of thing. I don't know that it'll be that way. It could be if you've got, if you're a Virgo rising or a Libra rising, yeah. It could be like that for relationships. If you are a Gemini rising, sure, that could be a job situation. Pisces in your 10th house. Um, Aries in your 11th house could be a social media friend group thing. Um, who else? Who else might be affected by that? Um, Capricorn risings, maybe. Aries is your 4th house, Pisces is your 3rd house. So anyway, what I'm saying here is that don't be surprised if there's like abruptness, abrupt change, abrupt flip of the script, but also not only the mind fuck thing, but also like, is it really real? And in many cases, people are going to buy because 29 degrees Pisces is like the ultimate illusion. People are going to buy whatever the fuck is on the media, and people are going to buy whatever is like said on that Friday or Saturday, even if it's not true, right? That happens all the time. People get like taken in by, you know, the media and fall for anything. And so not enough people listened to Aaron Tippin in the 90s, I'm convinced. Okay, so let's look at the full moon in Libra. Thank God we get something on the other side of the zodiac for an interesting change of pace. This is April 12th. This is also a Saturday. This full moon is going to peak at 7:20 p.m. Central Time. And the full moon is at 23, sorry, degrees of Libra. Mars is at 27. Oh, it's a little wider square than I thought, but it's still within the square. But the sun, you can see, is conjunct Chiron at 23 degrees of Aries. This is why I'm saying like this is a T-square plus you've got this trine with Mars in the North Node, Mercury, Saturn, and pretty much Venus. So Mars is trining everything in Pisces, um, as well as T-squaring the full moon. So I I mean, this could be interesting, uh, because Mars is in like super mama bear protective mode, not exactly in his happy place, kind of coasting along and trying to get out of there. He's like 3 degrees away from getting out of Cancer, and he's going to land in this T square. And so, but trining those Pisces placements, that's a lot of water. Um, and so this could be really floaty. And so this could be the illusion that you're at peace. This could be the illusion that you are on the right path, but it also could be like a rude awakening that maybe you're not. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm saying that you could have a rude awakening. Um, a reality check. You could also be at peace and um, you have come to terms with with a loss or come to terms with the end of something or come to terms with what you need to do to protect your sovereignty or your peace or whatever. And so Venus will station direct hours, like within an hour of this full moon peak. And so that could be a really interesting day since Libra Aries is kind of the war axis. There could be something going on with all of the war activity that's happening, whether it's in the Middle East or anywhere else in the world. Just remember that just because, astrology is objective, so just because it's not happening where you live doesn't mean it's not happening somewhere. I do think there's going to be like fire related stuff, probably flooding related stuff with all this concentrated energy between Pisces and Aries. There's definitely going to be some earth related things. And let's see, where is Uranus? Uranus is at 25. So sextiling Saturn. Oh, that could be interesting. Sextiling Saturn and Venus. Oh boy. Yeah, there's definitely going to be something happening during this full moon on April 12th. There will be an earth something like a flood, maybe even a tsunami, earthquake, something like that. Tornado. I know where I'm at, I've had like a ton of tornadic weather, like wind. Has that really, I mean, we haven't had tornadoes where I'm at specifically, but we've definitely had active weather. But it's mostly been like wind and rain, not so much like thunderstormy stuff, which is completely fine with me. I don't like lightning. Um, so yeah, this could be, is this a bucket chart? No, it's not. Um, yeah, this could be pretty active weather-wise around the 12th of April. So just kind of be aware that it's a fairly active chart. Like I said, Venus stations direct after that. Previous Venus stations and Libra full moons. This one's not an eclipse, but previous Libra full moons, particularly when we had the nodes in Libra, the South Node in Libra, was when a lot of the activity happened in the Middle East. Um, and so I think this could be more weather related, but it also looks really feisty, like fighty, like fights, because everything's kind of out of balance because literally we have the South Node in Virgo and the moon in Libra, and that's it on that side of the chart. Um, yeah, that's a lot of concentrated energy. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Anywho, um, hold on. Where we go? Um, my Zoom has been minimizing my not minimizing, but like making my window small and I can't. Anyway, whatever. Okay, let's get into your sun and rising signs because this video has probably already been long enough. But I feel like there's just a lot to talk about and there's going to continue to be a lot to talk about. So by all means, go up here in the upper right-hand corner on your screen. There's a little gear up here. Click on that and you can come down to where it says playback speed and it says normal. Click on normal and come down to 1.25, 1.5. You can also press and hold above my head and it will speed me up so you can get past some of my blabbing and pauses while I'm staring at charts and whatnot. So if you ever wanted to speed people up, you can do that. I speed people up all the time because some of the videos I watch are hours long. Anyway, so sun and rising signs, of course, we will talk about the Aries eclipse on the 29th. and we'll talk about Pisces because we've still got that Pisces energy happening. So you're still moving through a lot of endings in that Pisces area of your chart. And then, of course, we'll talk about the Libra full moon on April 12th. Now, what I will say is I do these sun sign horoscopes, sun rising sign forecasts in whole sign houses. But if you want a more accurate reading with Placidus, because that does give me a different calculation of your chart, then you would need to schedule yourself a full chart reading or a single transit reading or something like that, wellness reading, something like that. And so if you want something a bit more accurate, you would want to invest in a reading. And so highly recommend that because like most of this Aries energy, while I'm a Scorpio rising, would in whole sign be in my sixth house, but actually everything that's going on in Aries right now, minus Chiron, is happening still in my fifth house. So that's what I mean about like, you can watch sun and rising signs from any astrologer, but all of them are going to be whole sign houses and if you actually get a reading from an astrologer, we're not using whole sign houses, we're using Placidus, which gives us a better calculation of what you may be experiencing with life stuff. So just keep that in mind as you watch the sun and rising sign forecast. Okay, what do we got going on here? We are doing the I don't need to pause because my light's already red and the Aries is first. So I don't need to pause, which could be a bad thing because I can sit here and ramble. Okay. But anyway, we've got the um which way do you go? Oh, this way. Okay. Angels and Ancestors Oracle for Aries season because why not? It's good, it's fun. Okay. Of course, you can watch my regular wellness astrology videos. You can check out the Awakening Spirit Collective, which is a paid platform, and there are multiple practitioners there. I'm the resident astrologer, but we also have a journaling coach. We have ascension coaches that can help you through a lot of the energy type stuff. We have what else? People who work with chakras. Now I do a lot of those things, but I mean, if you're wanting something more specific to a specific portion of spiritual work, healing work, you would want to go, you would want to explore that. Um, so yeah, so I do astrology and coaching, and so yeah. And to work with me, you don't have to learn your astrology. You don't have to know your astrology. I get to look at the charts and I get to tell you all about it and but then coach you through things that you're experiencing. So, all right, Aries, obviously, y'all, this is in your first house. And then of course the Libra full moon on the 12th is going to be in your seventh house, so relationships, but really you're kind of focused on that 12th house, first house situation between Pisces and Aries. And so, it wouldn't surprise me if Aries um, get a bit more loud about what they want and how they want things to go with relationships and things like that. Of course, Mars is down in your fourth house, so you could be dealing with a lot of home and family and emotional stuff, maybe. And whatnot, but something's definitely about to, something's in your subconscious there in that Pisces 12th house, Aries, that's kind of got your wheels moving. And so, you're coming to some conclusions about stuff and you're coming to some conclusions about stuff and you're probably about ready to take some serious action on things. So let's see what you guys got. I am like completely distracted by my phone in this moment. I'm so sorry. Okay, Aries, you guys got the um ooh, the eagle. Yeah, you need to take a zoomed out view. You need to pull back. You need to get a bigger you need to get a perspective. You need to get a you need to get a perspective on things. With all of that concentration in your 12th house, even though Aries is your first house, you really need to pull back and get a little perspective. You've been a little bit stuck in the muck of day-to-day life and going all in on all of the things, but you've maybe lost perspective and lost the plot, and you kind of need to zoom out and get a perspective shift. That's what I got for Aries. Taurus sun, Taurus rising. This is your forecast for Aries season 2025, to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on the 29th of March and the Libra full moon on April 12th. I had something stuck under the wheel of my chair. Okay, so Aries is your 12th house, Pisces is your 11th house, and then of course Libra is going to be your 6th house. And case in point, I actually know a Taurus rising who has more Virgo in their 6th house than not. Um, but okay, so your 12th house, 6th house, this is the health, those are the health houses. Aries being your 12th house. So, your subconscious, sleep, dreams are, gonna get pretty active if they haven't already been fairly active. But also that 11th house, your friend groups are changing, your social media might be changing, your presence on social media might be changing. And so something may be ending with a group of people or a group of friends, and whatnot. And then that Libra full moon could really show you potentially like where things have been affecting your health, your routines, your work habits, those sorts of things. And so I kind of feel like with that 12th house, 6th house, as we move forward, your 12th house is going to be lit up with once Mercury and Venus station direct, we'll have then Neptune, Venus, Mercury, and then Saturn eventually is going to come into your 12th house. So that activity there in that 12th house is going to increase. And so you may be already experiencing some things with your subconscious. You may be already be experiencing like some dream stuff, some sleep disruption, lack of sleep or intense sleep, but also just things to do with your subconscious. So things could be coming to the surface. And remember, Chiron is still in Aries too. So as the stellium in Pisces moves into Aries, where we all could see things is that things that we've kind of ignored with Chiron and Aries is now like not ignorable anymore. Is that a word, ignorable? I don't know whether it is or not, but I just made it up. All right, let's see what we got for Taurus. Um, this is, oh, spring. Um, see your seeds grow. Ooh. Um, Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've kind of talked about, was it Taurus that we've talked about like stuff that you've already shifted and planted, and now you're kind of gonna see some things start to bud, and start to kind of crack through the surface. And so, this could be a good thing. But also too, if it's spring, it's like, maybe this is an opportunity for you to plant anew. Depending on where you are with things, you could be planting anew and seeing it blossom and seeing it growing. So I kind of like that for Taurus. And so that's what I have for Taurus. Gemini sun, Gemini rising. This is your forecast for Aries season 2025 to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. Okay. So we are talking about your 11th house fifth house. But mostly we are talking about your 10th and 11th house. And I mean, and Virgo being your fourth house. So there's obviously things going on with your work and life and home life balance. But with this Aries, your friend groups, your social media, your technology or use of technology, or maybe you're getting into like AI creativity and things like that because Libra is your fifth house. So like finding some balance with what your heart truly desires with regards to whether it's social media, friend groups, or community, maybe it's community government, things like that. Um, and really getting into that. Maybe this is a complete career shift because something's ending with your career and it's time to step into a new role. I've kind of felt that for Gemini for a long time. And so, you know, you're a couple months away here. We're in April. You're just a couple months away here from Uranus moving into your first house. So, you know, Jupiter will be leaving your first house in June, and then just a couple weeks later, then Uranus will move in. So, while you've got Jupiter there, you may want to take advantage of that Jupiterian expansion energy, that growth energy, that you know, and really use it before Uranus steps in. And but for I would say this is you know really being attentive to that 10th and 11th house. So your career, your public you know public achievements, your friend groups, your social media, technology, how you use those things collaboratively to make things happen. And so that full moon in Libra in your fifth house is going to kind of shed some light on, you know, maybe where you have found some balance, but maybe also where you need to continue to release things that don't serve what your heart really wants. Um, and you got the magic guardian. Well, then go be a magician, Geminis. That could be fun. Um, yeah, unlock the magic within. Yeah, go be the magician. Libra's your fifth house. You can go have fun. You're gonna find some balance with it. It's gonna, you know, potentially shift the trajectory of your career, and move things in a different direction, maybe creative flow, things like that. And yeah. The only thing that I would say for Gemini here is that you know, because Neptune's moving into your 11th house, like this could be a good moment to like, I don't know, because I mean, you could solidify a friend group or group related situation, but it's kind of going to get a little bit off kilter perhaps when Neptune moves into your 11th house. But who knows if that's actually going to happen? Or maybe you've already solidified the group and it's going to be, you know, I feel like there's just something with your career and your friend group, or your, like I said, your community group, or something like that is probably going to start being a little bit more um, flowy or foggy, or maybe even just you being in a leadership role in your friend group or community group. So unlock the magic, see what you can come up with, Gemini. All right, Cancer, Sun and Rising. This is your forecast for Aries season 2025 to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. And so, of course, this is Aries is your 10th house, Libra is your fourth house. So this is, you know, finding balance. Between your home and your work life. You just still have Mars there in your first house. So, I mean, you really could be getting kind of feisty and fired up about like protecting yourself from from either your home or your work. You could be taking a stand in your work. And so, which could also put your home and emotional foundation out of whack, out of balance. But you may need to take a stand for yourself and really you know, be in your power. And then, of course, with Pisces being your ninth house, this could really be like an end of a philosophy, belief system, and of a job that you have been traveling long distance for, um, something like that, I feel like. Uh, but I feel like this is like you saying like, this could be you saying, I'm done traveling, Pisces in your ninth house, because I need to work in the same location, taking a stand at the office because I have a new baby at home, or I have a new puppy at home, or I have a farm, or I'm, trying to nurture my spouse, or, whatever it is. Or, maybe if you've been a nomad, maybe you've been a nomad and you're like done being a nomad because you actually want to nurture or find balance with your own foundation. So either way, Cancer, I feel like this is a really, you may be already feeling this, where you really need to take a stand for yourself and really verbalize and voice what you're feeling and all of that. You guys got the um a winter. Um Take care of your needs. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what I said. With Mars in your first house, and the Aries Libra energy, this is you taking care of what you need to do. Like I said, this could be like, again, you're done traveling, that part of your career is over because now you need to stay home and take care of, a little one or a parent, or something like that. So take care of what you need to take care of, Cancers, and don't be afraid to speak up and, you know, say what you need for your work-life balance. Leo Sun, Leo Rising, this is your forecast for Aries season 2025, to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. Okay, so we're dealing with the ninth house here in with the ninth house here with Aries, and that full moon's going to be in your third house. It's almost like I- it literally just hit me like you don't speak up, but that's kind of not mostly not true of Leos, but maybe it is. Maybe you don't speak up, but something is certainly shifting and changing in your intimate relationships, your financial contracts and things like that, with Pisces in your eighth house, which could be leading to like you needing to take a stand on your philosophies, belief systems. Maybe you need to travel long distance um, for for a work thing, or for to speak at something, to speak at an event or something like that. You still got Mars in your 12th house, and so could be things there with your subconscious that are stirring up. Maybe that's actually promoting, not promoting, encouraging you or urging you to travel afar for something. Hold on one second. Okay, I had to sneeze. But with this Aries in your ninth house and then all that Pisces in your eighth house, like something's shifting, changing. And of course, you have Pluto in your seventh house too, of relationships, partnerships, and things like that. So this is a lot of concentrated energy, particularly in intimate relationships, or contractual, as in marriage, or business contracts, and things like that. And you, of course, have that South Node in your second house. So, things could definitely be coming up to the surface with regards to a business partnership or a contractual business agreement, or something like that. But this could also, of course, be marriage. It could be a marriage coming to an end, or a marriage proposal or something like that. And then maybe it's a marriage proposal that like takes you on a journey through a new philosophy, a new belief system, takes you on a journey to travel afar in order to be with that new person. I don't know that this is a new relationship particularly, but it could be just, even like your work, or like the contract on your job is like for you to relocate in order to um, up level, or even linearly progress in the company. And y'all got the Druid This is um hold the space. Um, this really feels like a mentoring thing. Like you are potentially stepping into that Pisces in your eighth house is like lighting up all of those psychic things, and mediumship type things. Um, and Mars in your 12th, like it could very well be, um, you stepping into that role as like an Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? Um, and that may mean that you need to um do some training, some higher, wisdom type training, philosophy type training, right? This could be Obi-Wan Kenobi-ish. This could be Socrates or something like that. But like, you're shifting, you're growing in your wisdom. And so you've kind of got to align to that. And so again, back to the like where, you could have something change just how you make money, meaning you could change jobs. Again, anything's possible here, but like contractual things, which could be business contracts, could be ending, or your ability to uphold your end of the contract could be ending. Um, and so you have to change how you are, again, this feels like it could be higher education, wisdom training, something like that. Like I feel like there's like this Yoda training, like Jedi training. That's what I'm going for there. Jedi training happening where you've got to learn you've got to learn your force, you've got to learn your magic. So it's like I got for Leo. Virgo sun, Virgo rising. This is your forecast for Aries season 2025 to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. Okay, you are still in it. You're going to be in it because that south node's in your first house and you've got that north node and all of the other Pisces energy in your seventh house. So things with relationships, partnerships, and remember that you can be in relationship with anyone and anything. So this is not just partners as in romance. This could be friends. This could be your relationship with technology, most likely, could be. I mean, Aquarius is your sixth, your 11th house is Cancer. It doesn't feel like it's technology. It feels like it's your relationship with community and people and your role in all of that. And it's getting foggier and it's getting to the point where you can't really distinguish who is who's with you and who's not. And I heard something the other day and it really rang. But it was someone who's a victim. Um, will turn any hero into their villain, right? And that's so true, right? And Virgo, because you're so in need of being in control of everything, you certainly fall into the victim, or even martyrdom category of things. You to the point where you turn everyone into your villain. Everyone's against me. Oh, poor me, nothing goes my way because I'm this or I'm that, or, I can't go with the flow. So I'm, this way or that way, or seeking a new label. Um, and there really is this opportunity for you to make a shift out of that victimhood. And because again, you'll turn any hero or anyone who is championing, boy, that was a tough word, being your champion, people who are trying to empower or encourage you to shift and take a stand for yourself. You'll turn anybody into your villain. Oh, they just hate me because they don't understand, or they just think I'm a terrible person because I sought out a new label, or you know, and what you're going to end up doing is putting yourself in a very isolated situation because you're going to stick with your victim. You're going to sit in your victim story. I'm not saying this is all Virgos, but I feel like this is a good chunk of Virgo risings right now. Is because they need to be so in control. And this is where the South Node is going to fuck a Virgo because you're being asked to let go, release, calm down, take a chill pill. It's all going to be okay, but you do need to trust that other people have got your back and that, you know, but you've got to be okay with the fact that because Pluto is now in your sixth house in Aquarius, Aquarius is like a lightning bolt. Things are going to change on a freaking dime. And with Pisces, your seventh house, like you got to go with the flow of relationships, but you've got to let other people help you and support you and without trying to make them your villain. Because then you have this Aries eighth house. I was going somewhere with all this. You've got this Aries eighth house that's intimate relationships, contractual relationships, and money and other people's money and things like that. And you might have almost this like um, uh, standoffish attitude because you constantly um or not, maybe not constantly, but you regularly turn people into being a villain. So you don't let them be your hero and let people help you because they can't do it the way you do it. It's kind of like the OCD clean freak Virgo rising that like can't hire a housekeeper because the housekeeper could never do it to their standards, right? So they just, that's how they self-sabotage is I got to do it my way and this bitch can't do it my way. So I'm just going to have to do it myself. And then they run themselves ragged trying to do everything their way because they can't handle the cleaning lady that put the salt and the pepper shaker you know, the salt's here and the pepper's here and the cleaning lady does the opposite. They can't handle, right? So there's a lot here going on with you self-sabotaging, and there's a lot of work for you to do around loosening up and potentially like, you know, getting rid of the mental constipation and allowing things to just be and allowing relationships to just be and allowing people to be supportive for you and champion for you and be your hero. But sometimes to be your hero, you do need to accept what other people are here to support you with. Everyone's here to show us something, right? Not everybody's here to bring us down. So a lot of self-sabotage, I feel like happening with Virgos, but then that Libra um, full moon in your second house, it's like that balance of of worth, right? That balance of self-worth. Um, and that you're worthy of having people who do support you. Um, you guys got the guardian angel. Ooh, I kind of like that. You are not alone. Yeah, yeah. Virgos, you're not alone. You're never alone. You want to think that you are because that keeps you in that martyrdom victim. Nobody understands me. Nobody gets me. Nobody experiences life the way I do. La 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 la. So people got you. You are never alone, no matter what. So keep that in mind, Virgos. That was kind of perfect. I kind of love that. Virgos have a lot happening. That South Node's gonna fuck a Virgo over. But not if Virgos kind of just decide to take a chill pill and let Pluto and Aquarius just kind of flow with how things are changing and evolving and all of that. So because I guarantee you, Virgos, if you're feeling like you're going through it now with just the Pluto in your sixth, and the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces and the encouragement to go with the flow, you just wait till Uranus gets into your 10th house and your career starts being like vroom, 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 vroom. What are you gonna do then? Like, oh my God. That's why I feel like Virgos have a lot of work to do before July, to really learn how to go with the flow before Uranus comes in to the picture and really starts changing shit left, right, sideways, upside down, inside out, and every way, every which way. So, yeah, I feel for Virgos, but they got a lot of work to do, and we've all kind of been there. I just had the South Node in mine a few years ago, so it's not an easy transit, but you got this. You got this. I guarantee it. All right. Libra Sun, Libra Rising. This is your forecast for Aries season 2025 to include the Aries solar eclipse new moon on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. Okay, Libra, this is your seventh house, but we're still dealing a lot with your sixth house, which is your health habits, daily routines, work habits, all of those sorts of things. So while you are focused on your own daily routines and your health habits and your swimming, because if you have a Pisces in your sixth house, then you should be doing something to do with water. You have to realize that you are in partnerships, and with Aries in your seventh house, you may be like the relationship revolves around me. I'm the only reason. Yeah, but unfortunately, you have to learn that if you're in a partnership, you're in a partnership, and there needs to be balance between the partners in the partnership. And so I feel like with things coming into Aries, like you kind of might get like a little bit of a reality check that you're not the center of attention. But also, this could be like you saying that coming to the understanding that doing for everyone else, like being a people pleaser, going with whatever everybody else wants to do and not saying what you want to do. Hopefully, you've learned that already. But if you haven't, then it could be, this could be an opportunity for you to relearn that lesson that being a people pleaser and going with the flow of what everybody else wants and forgetting and neglecting yourself may be up for debate or discussion or thought. And then, of course, the full moon in Libra on the 12th of April will be in your first house. So get a little bit of illumination on yourself and what things may be that you maybe need to shift attitudes or opinions or even just some self-love, and again um not being so like finding that delicate balance between you wanting to be the center of the relationship and that everyone else has a part or skin in the game as well. Um, and so you got the moon. Um, take note of intuitive messages. Yeah, I mean, again, Pisces in your sixth house, like how well are you tuning into your body or are you constantly trying to correct it? Because there's a kind of a fine line between um there's a fine line between wanting to correct everything that our body does, which many people do. That's why we have ibuprofen and Tylenol and all of those pain reliever things, because we must correct the headache so that we can get back to the daily grind, right? As opposed to actually experiencing the headache for whatever it's bringing to us, whatever that is, or the muscle ache, or the backache, or whatever it is, right? We want to constantly cure or fix or repair the bodily discomfort when in reality, we need to be attentive to it and discern what message our body's trying to tell us. You're a Pisces in your sixth house, which is about health, which puts Virgo in your 12th house. So it's like, you want to pay attention to how your body feels day in and day out, how it responds to different cycles, whether it's the moon or otherwise. You want to be attentive to that as opposed to constantly trying to fix or repair perhaps your body is just trying to, solar plexus is just trying to show you where you could be more powerful, and more in your more authoritative of your own sovereignty, and whatnot, versus again constantly trying to please others or do as others. If you don't want to go play basketball or you don't want to go play pickleball that day, you get to say, you know what, I need a day off from pickleball, or I need a day off from whatever activity. I need a day off from going out to the bar and drinking or whatever it is, because I really need to be attentive to my system and what my system is doing. This could also be an opportunity to really pay attention to, like, alcohol and things like that, with all that Pisces in your sixth house. Like, hopefully that's kind of given you a little realization, if you are somebody who consumes a lot of intoxicants, to really kind of cut back and slow down, as those do cause excess inflammation. And with all this Aries, you could be experiencing inflammation anyway, with just the presence of other people. Um, and so, yeah, a lot of opportunities to make some adjustments and to tune into your actual physical body there, Libra. All right, that's all I got for Libra. Scorpio sun, Scorpio rising. This is your forecast for Aries season 2025 to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. This is your sixth house. And you've got fifth house, sixth house activity. So creativity, your heart's desire, what you really desire, what you're really passionate about. Scorpio, you're all about passion. Um, that being said, you got Pluto in your fourth house, and Libra is your 12th house. So, but there's not a lot going on in Libra, really, just the full moon on the 12th. So, I mean, around the, I would say, 11th, we'll say 10th, 11th, 12th could be some weird sleep situations with that full moon coming into play. Um, so April 10th, 11th, 12th for Scorpio risings could have some sleep disruptions or something to that effect with sleep. But really, I personally, for me, I don't know if it's the South Node Virgo, but or if it's the Aries activity, but like I have been in a super solid routine for like over a week, and I would love if it continues, because I've been riding the good wave of like actually like getting my shit done, getting adulting things done, and getting back into the gym and lifting and all of those things, and kind of getting my body back into shape. Feels really good. So hopefully you're having some kind of an experience like that. But this is a health house for you, the sixth house. So solidifying like a health routine or health regimen. I would say like strength train, and that kind of thing. Getting some of that aggression out. Remember that Pluto is in your fourth, Mars is in your ninth. And so there definitely could be like some shift in your like daily, your foundational philosophies with those two, because Mars and Pluto co-rule Scorpio. That's why I'm bringing that up. Um, and then, of course, you've got things happening in your fifth house. So it's kind of like the end of a maybe a creative slump. It could be like the end of a creative, like maybe your project is finishing. You're getting it done. You're completing it. But this also could be fifth house. You could be dealing with children that are growing up and moving out on their own. If you're a parent, could be a situation like that um, happening with your fifth house, with the Pisces fifth house situations. And so, who knows? There could be a lot of different things happening for you, Scorpios. But I would say the biggest thing is like be aware of your health habits, be aware of your sleep habits, be aware of your like daily routine type stuff. Also, with this being Aries being your sixth house, could be like an opportunity to get your blood work updated, things like that, so that you know what your baseline is, or you've got an update on like your numbers that you need to watch, like your iron and things like that, hemoglobin, clotting factors, all of those sorts of things. And let's see, Scorpios, you got Um, oh, animal guardian. Okay. Trust your instincts. Oh, I kind of like that because the sixth house is also the house of pets. And so you could be, suddenly getting a new pet. But also trust your instincts. Trust where things are taking you. Allow for things to become available for you. Or make yourself available for new things that could be opening up. You could be switching jobs. You could be switching shifts on your job. Like maybe you've been working the day shift and now you're going to switch to nights or a third shift or I guess second shift. Um, and things like that. So trust your instincts, trust the process of everything that's happening. Like I'm totally trusting that this routine that I've been on for the last week and a half is opening things up for me. And again, I'm not even the least bit. I'm so happy about it because it's like, oh, heck, I'm finally getting a lot of like I had a very dark winter. It wasn't like dark, like I didn't feel icky, but I definitely felt slow AF through winter. But I also feel like I was like processing and integrating a lot of things and embodying a lot of things that were coming through because the Schumann resonance was pretty potent this winter. But I feel like for Scorpios, like this is like trust the process, but also be willing and available for the things that might be becoming available for you. That's like a for Scorpio. All right, Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Rising. This is your forecast for Aries season 2025 to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. Okay, so this is your fifth house, 11th house axis, but also we can't neglect the fourth house. So you could still be going through a lot of change with your fourth house, your home, your foundation, maternal things, mother things. This could really be a lot of you becoming a parent because fourth house, you're becoming a mom because you're acquiring or having children. Aries fifth house. Um, which could then by sheer like process of things change your friend groups. Libra is your 11th house. So um could be some things going on with kids there, with things moving into your fifth house. If you do or do not want to get pregnant, practice accordingly. But the Aries being your fifth house, like passion. This could be a lot of like creative bursts and creative passions, which really could spice things up in the bedroom, to be honest with you. That could be fun. Um, but yeah, I mean, but this could also bring some sort of something to do with children and whatnot. Something maybe end like again with things ending in Pisces. This could have something to do with you know, an end of a maternal role. Or the end of a parental role in your life, which could, kind of shake your foundation and have you going through and processing some stuff. Um, but this could also be just changes in your house or in your home life or your emotions. Maybe you've been processing a lot emotionally from your, inner child wounds, Chiron in your fifth house. Um, and whatnot, and just by sheer relocation or whatever could be changing your community groups, friend groups, Libra in your 11th house. So lots of things could be happening here, but a lot of it has to do with your home, your foundation, emotions, maternal, children, creativity, those sorts of things, which could really be shifting the trajectory of your community, your friend groups, your maybe involvement with local politics, things like that. And you got um what is this? Is this oh peacekeeper? Okay. Let go of the need to be right. Well, okay, that's funny. because maybe you don't need to be right about everything because everything can go with the flow. Um, Everything gets to go with the flow. And you don't have to be the answer to everything. You don't have to be the all-knowing of everything. It doesn't mean that you aren't. I'm saying you don't have to be. There's a lot of times when I'm in conversations with people and I just let them say their whatever they're gonna say. Because I mean, yeah, I know better, but there's no point in trying to convince people of what they don't know and what they're unwilling to learn and what they're unwilling to understand. And maybe you've been the one to smooth things over in your family situation for far too long, and it has taken its toll on your body, your health, your heart, your blood pressure. That could be this too, is that you have taken on everyone else's shit in order to keep the peace, and it is now taking a toll on you. You cannot do it anymore. You cannot be the the smoother over of all of the things anymore. You got to let people walk through their own shitty shit and their own karma and their own consequences, and you need to take care of you. So, there you go, Sagittarius. Capricorn, Sun and Rising, this is your forecast for Aries season 2025 to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. Okay, I want to know if there is a Capricorn rising who watches my video who is relocating due to a relationship either beginning or ending, because Mars is in your seventh house now direct, and Pisces is your third house, and Aries is your fourth house. Oh, like new home, new start, new relationship, or bye to an old relationship or something. It would be really cool if there was a Capricorn rising watching my video who is moving to a whole new community, a whole new life, new home because a relationship either ended or is beginning. Okay, I want to know. Tell me in the comments. Okay. But literally, that would be astrology literally playing out loud, is if that was the case for any Capricorn risings, because the third house Pisces energy, it's like a neighborhood or the end of an era in a neighborhood. And then Aries would be your fourth house, new home, new foundation. And then Mars in Cancer in your seventh house, new or old relationship, or bye-bye to an old relationship, miscommunication in relationship. That would be really interesting if that was the case. And then of course the Libra full moon, your career obviously would have to change because you've moved and you've completely gotten into a new neighborhood. So now you need a new job and all of those sorts of things. But so yeah, this literally for Capricorns, it could be that you have a new or old relationship and you're relocating. But also, even if you're in a stable relationship, congratulations, first of all. Secondly, this may mean like changing something in your home. This could be you need a fresh home, right? I just saw a YouTuber earlier today who like didn't film a video for a couple months because she completely like redid her kitchen, redid her living room, like did some painting, all of those sorts of things. And so this really could be like taking some action on some home projects, things like that. With Neptune moving though into your fourth house, like to be aware that like plumbing issues could be a thing, or like seepage or water damage or something like that with Neptune moving into your fourth house here. So just kind of be aware of those sorts of things. But anyway, something new in your home, in your foundation. Perhaps this is you are graduating from being a mom and therefore you're moving, you're downsizing, empty nesting. So downsizing into a smaller home because you no longer have children at home. Could be a thing. You're moving into an assisted living or a condo or something like that. Kind of thing could be happening with Capricorns here. Um, And then of course, like I said, the Libra full moon in your 10th house, I think that kind of just is like your career has to change, or your job or work environment, or even your volunteering, or whatever you do in public just will change as a natural consequence of things in your home are changing, right? And so, whatnot, things like that. And then oh, and then the South Node in Virgo in your ninth. Huh. I really want to know, is there a Capricorn rising who may be like relocating? Like all of this speaks to a relocation or a new home. Um, so anyway, that's what I'm feeling for Capricorn, is new home. It really just would add up because so Capricorn, your first house, your third house, neighborhoods, something ending in your neighborhood, third house, fourth house, Aries, new home, or change in your home, change in your maternal role or parental role, Mars in your seventh, relationships, um, Virgo in your ninth would be, letting go of things, downsizing. Libra in your 10th, like rebalancing how you interact with the public because you have changed to a new neighborhood. Like, wow, that one's pretty good. I kind of like that for Capricorn. They've been through a transformation with that Pluto finally getting out of there first. And you got the Lady card, and this says, growth and reap rewards. Interesting. Growth and reap rewards. I mean, yeah, I mean, this could be like growth. You've outgrown an area of life, a season of life. You've outgrown material possessions, and therefore you are now free to move about. You are now free to move about the cabin. You're now free to move about the world. You're now free to move about the country. You've outgrown things, and now the reward is that you get to do something different. You get to change. You get to evolve. You get to have the freedom of, whatever's next for you. Um, I don't know. That's a really fun forecast for Capricorn. So I really want to hear from Capricorns how this plays out for y'all. Okay, that's what I got for Capricorn. Aquarius. Hello, Aquarius. This is your forecast for Aries season 2025 to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. Okay, this most of the center. I mean, you have Pluto in your first house, so you're obviously, you don't get a break for the next 20 years of transformation. But of course, things that happening in your second house, Pisces, Aries is your third house, Libra, therefore, is your ninth house, and Virgo is your eighth house. So, where the South Node is the reason I bring that up. But you also have Mars and Cancer in your sixth. And so, Aquarius may be being a bit protective of their physical habits, their daily habits, things like that. But like with this Aries third house situation, your community, getting your neighborhood, sibling relationships, um, your ability to communicate. Maybe you start speaking a bit more feisty, um, speaking what you need. Your this Pisces endings in your second house. It's like how you deal with money and your self-worth. Um, and there may be parts of your lack of self-worth, you're fucking done with, and you're ready to take a stand and demand that you get paid for your skills, your talents, your this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, paid for your contributions to your neighborhood, to your siblings, paid for, you know, what you have to offer the world. And then the Libra full moon shifting, you know, well, shedding some light on your belief systems, your philosophies, your education, your wisdom, your knowledge, and what you bring to the table. I feel like there's this, and then of course I keep going back to this Mars and Cancer in your sixth house. It's like just really getting clear on how you need to take care of yourself and demanding almost that your people help you out, demanding what you need from others. Um, because Aquarius, as much as we hate to admit it, we don't get to do this life alone. We need others to help us out. And um, so maybe it's time to demand that of the people who claim to be in your world. Are they able to be there in support of you and your work, your health, your whatever supports that you need? Um, Ooh, the Sky Father. How interesting. How very Saturn. Um, Trust in the unknown. Ooh. Well, Saturn is the father, and Uranus is the sky, and these are both your ruling planets, Aquarius. So this is very interesting, because I feel like Aquarians are definitely moving into unknown territory because they have to relate to other people. They have to they have to be in partnerships with other people. You're in a different environment energetically now, and you have to bring your your alien-like self, but that's not even what I want to say. You have to bring that detached, isolated person grounded in to because we need you to ground it in, Aquarius, so that you can be a part of what is unfolding and you can bring your wisdom. I mean, the thing about Aquarius is they're very fucking wise. Have you ever known an Aquarius rising? Like, I'm an Aquarius sun, but I hadn't have known some Aquarius risings. They are really wise, like deeply wise. They just know shit. Like, talk about what is that, clairvoyance? They're wise. And almost in like an old soul, like they've been here before. They know the routine. They understand things on a different level than other people understand it. But now it's time for Aquarius to like bring that down from the Uranus, Saturn, sky into earth so that we can actually start using and implementing the wisdom that is Aquarius. So I really love this for Aquarius because Aquarius is having to really learn to interact and embrace the presence of other people in the world. And I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it. All right, that's what I got for Aquarius. Pisces, Pisces rising. This is your forecast for Aries season 2025 to include the Aries new moon solar eclipse on March 29th and the Libra full moon on April 12th. Okay, so obviously you're still going through a lot because the North Node, Saturn, Venus, Mercury soon, all in your first house. But Neptune is leaving temporarily. and going into your second house. So the thing about that is that, and with this Aries new moon, is that Pisces, while they are the sign of no boundaries, is going to have to learn how to, fucking speak up and say what they need as far as boundaries, what they need as far as their self-worth. Like Pisces is some wise freaking fishies out there. And with this, all of this Aries coming into there, don't Pisces is about to not be very shy. And they're going to be very loud about it, I feel like. But also just, I feel like, I know someone who's a Pisces sun. I can't remember her rising sign though, but it's irrelevant. But I know someone who's a Pisces sun who's literally been like riding the highest wave, while everyone else has been in rest mode. She has been like on fire. And so again, I can't remember her rising. I know she's a Pisces sun though. And this is kind of the point of like, when you say like the sun, moon, rising, like that can really dictate the difference. Like somebody's a Pisces sun, but if they're like a fire sign rising, it can totally change their ability to be in the world, right? Like if you're a Pisces sun, but you're like a Aries rising, that changes things, right? Because yeah, you're a Pisces sun, but you're an Aries rising, so you're like personality of an Aries rising. Anywho, but okay, so Pisces, you've got this Aries stuff happening in your second house, your self-worth, how you make money, all of those things. Of course, the Libra full moon in your eighth house. So rebalancing of contracts, rebalancing of relationships, maybe even some justice or justice or uh, judgment calls around contracts, things like that. Of course, you have the South Node in your seventh house. So you may be cleansing out some and offloading some relationships. Again, this comes back to the second house Aries, where I feel like Pisces is going to get a little bit more vicious about their boundaries and maybe get a little bit more, I don't want to say standoffish, but a little bit more in control, which might be a little bit different now that we have Neptune coming into into Aries. But I still feel like that could be the case with a lot of Pisces, is that they're gonna kind of have a little bit more of a say in their boundaries and whatnot. So, um, yeah. And your career is probably starting to stabilize with, wait a minute, I did that wrong. No, your home life might be starting to stabilize a little bit, and your creativity might be starting to stabilize a little bit. Your creativity, that's it, not your home life. I don't know why I can't do whole sign houses for Pisces. Your creativity might be starting to stabilize a little bit because of Mars direct in Cancer and moving forward. And so, yeah, that's what I was trying to freaking say. Okay, and then you guys got the High Priestess. Oh, wow, that's almost perfect. Harness, Mystic, Harness Mystic Power. Yeah. I think this is it for Pisces risings. Because I feel like Neptune and Aries is, yes, there's going to be a lot of things in Aries, like Saturn. You're going to have Venus come back through. You're going to have Mercury come back through eventually. But I feel like with this, it's like Neptune and Pisces, or excuse me, Neptune and Aries for you is going to be like harnessing, meaning you're going to embody, you're going to have boundaries because you're going to want to like keep in control of the ocean, not in a negative way, but in more like like you're gonna wanna keep in control of your corner of the ocean, right? You can't control the whole ocean, but you can control your little corner of the ocean. And that would be harnessing your mystic. Like you've got your little spot, and you can keep that in check. And that would be those boundaries so that you can utilize and implement your mysticism that much clearer and cleaner. So that's what I feel like for Pisces. What an interesting time we are in, right? Hold on 1 second. I keep thinking that I could leave the thing recording, but to be fair, the the thingy to change the color on the light is actually on the floor. And so anywho, that's your sun and rising signs for Aries season. There's so much going on for all of us right now. Even if you don't feel like there's a lot going on in your physical environment, that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of things that you are experiencing, shifting through, changing. Because for a lot of people like Virgo risings, it's a lot to do with their mindset and their attitude and how they are in relationships. Whereas like Aquarius is getting like confidence, going through confidence stuff. And some people are dealing with health stuff. Obviously, people are being affected by, relationship changes and things like that. Still want to hear from some Capricorn risings about that, their Aries season forecast. I really want to know if there's Capricorns out there who are moving because of a relationship. Um, Anyway, so be sure to tune in to the wellness astrology stuff. I'll try and keep up to date on the current events. Unfortunately, I apparently have more stuff going on in my life right now, which is all good, like nothing bad, but like it's just keeping me a little busy, so I'm not able to like tune into current event stuff. I also don't really care because I have my own priorities, my own goals, and my own stuff that I really want to pursue. And I don't really care about what's going on geopolitically. I care to the extent of transits and how it matches up with planet conversations, but like I don't really care. It's going to happen and everything's going to be okay, regardless of whether I tune into it or not, or I consume it or not. And I really want to be attentive to what I consume. Because as we have Jupiter finishing in Gemini and Uranus about to go into Gemini, I'm very conscientious of what I am consuming in my head. And so what I consume in content is I'm being a little bit more intentional, and a little less interested in geopolitical stuff. So I watch a few astrologers who talk about current events so that I understand what's going on. But I'm more focused on my own stuff and local stuff, which is what I feel like all of us should be doing with Pluto and Aquarius, is really focused on local stuff and stuff in our own communities, neighborhoods, and things like that. And because here's the thing, if you do or do whether you do or don't like what's happening at the federal level of government or the international level of government, what the fuck are you doing about it? And don't tell me that you can't do anything about it, because you can. You can participate in local government and make changes in your own community. And for me, it doesn't really matter what is going on at the federal level. Like a lot of it hasn't, I mean, none of it's really affected me. I know it's affected people. I understand that it's affecting people. And I'm compassionate towards people who are going through it. And it's an opportunity for the people who are affected by it to make shifts, make changes, to pursue something more in alignment with them rather than a paycheck, number one. Number two, get involved at your local level, because for me, like, why do I care what's going on there when like there's a couple things in my own town where I currently live that directly affect my daily life? Directly affect my daily life. So it's not important to me it's not as important to me what's going on at that level when there's things that are going on at my like daily life level that I want to address. So that's kind of what I'm saying. is yes, be attentive to things that are going on such that it's happening and transits and things like that. But like, is it really all that important to you? This, that, or the other thing. Things are being reshuffled. Things are being transformed. We're going through the effects of our country's Pluto return. We're going through the effects of Neptune and Pisces, and Neptune moving into Aries. We're going through the effects of Uranus, the Uranus return for the United States coming up next year, I think. So these things are going to happen regardless because it's in the astrology that it's going to happen. Anyway, okay, I've talked enough. Hopefully this video is not too long. If it was, again, up here, click on the little gear, speed it up so you can watch it faster, all of the things. And I will talk to y'all on the regular wellness astrology videos. Take care. Bye.